With the election only a few weeks away, I feel it's necessary to bring attention to a few points. What most people would agree are the absolute worst things in our society are being normalized by the political establishment, which has infiltrated our academic institutions at all grade levels. Kids are being taught in elementary school that we shouldn't judge people for being sexually attracted to children, and that pedophiles should instead be referred to as minor attracted persons. Public schools around the country are exposing kids to drag shows and other explicit sexual material. As recently as 5 years ago, virtually nothing would have been considered more reprehensible across the board than grooming and sexualizing kids, yet these actions are supported by the political establishment. Criminal activity up to and including murder is being normalized, and in many cases the offenders are not being held rightfully accountable due to bail reform laws. The recent politically motivated murder of 18-year-old Kayler Ellingson in North Dakota was swept under the rug by the mainstream media because the crime didn't fit the preferred narrative. Several conservative politicians and Supreme Court justices have faced either actual attempts or direct threats of assassination, and in each case the mainstream media have refused to denounce these actions. If the political sides were reversed, these stories would be front-page news, and riots would be erupting around the country in opposition to so-called right-wing extremism. The fact that this doesn't occur is proof in itself that murdering political opponents is one-sided. Yes, there are ignorant and bigoted people throughout much of rural America. These people are not intentionally hateful. They are the product of decades of abandonment by the political establishment, who shipped overseas the industry that once supported these areas, and left this population with very few educational and employment opportunities. It logically follows that voting for non-establishment candidates such as Donald Trump is the best solution to this lack of opportunity. And although a president can only do so much in one term, Trump did in fact bring companies back to the Rust Belt, before the current administration shipped them back out to places like Mexico. Note the irony in the fact that Trump was actually a solution to this rural ignorance, despite the media insisting that he was the cause. This population supported him for a good reason, and it was simply their loyal support combined with their uneducated persona that allowed the media to falsely present it as a radical uprising. If even one of these people had murdered a political opponent, it would have been such a major news story that we'd still be hearing the name of both the killer and the victim. In recent history, only one side is a physical threat to their political opponents. Under the current administration, high school boys are sexually assaulting girls in the girls' bathroom, simply being transferred to another district, and unsurprisingly performing the same act. So much for the Me Too movement. Rape is being normalized in order to accommodate the right of trans and non-binary students to use the bathroom of their choice. So to sum things up, the absolute worst things in our society, murder, rape, pedophilia, sexualization of children, are being normalized by the political mainstream. I'm not going to say you should vote for one political party or the other, because my preferred approach is to present the facts and then leave people to make their own decision. I would like for non-leftist liberals to feel that they can vote for liberal policies. What I will say is that based on the facts, it should be clear that we need to vote against the establishment. Unfortunately for Democrats, their party abandoned the only real non-establishment candidate they had. If the party hadn't done this, Tulsi Gabbard might be our current president and would be building upon Trump's successes. But because the Democrat Party has continually rejected and slandered Gabbard, she has now left the party, and Democrats are left without a single non-establishment candidate for any major office. The question to consider is whether your own political identity and persona are more important than opposing murder, rape, and child grooming. I realize that this is a strong statement, but I didn't create this setup, believe me. I'm only presenting reality. With a few years of non-establishment leadership, we at least have a chance of rebuilding the system back to where we can all vote in good conscience for our own personal preferences.